So it's been a week of Duet Night Abyss, and at this point, I swear, it feels like the abyss is staring back at me.
Nice.
I have been grinding this game for 7 days straight, currently trial rank 37. I went in with high expectations, clean character designs, crazy visuals, unique world building, and no character gacha. A dream for us gacha survivors, right? But in reality, this game has potential and problems. Some of them stare at you harder than the good. So here's my honest day 7 review, the good, the bad, and the why is this NPC a statue. We'll cover story, combat, exploration, characters, visuals and sound, monetization, quality of life, performance, and finally, should you play it? No sugarcoating, if it sucks, I'll say it, if it slaps, I'll say that too. I'm Sub Phoenix, I cover RPGs, anime action games and PC gameplay with honest impressions and benchmarks. No face cam today, just raw gameplay, edits and straight facts. If you like no BS reviews that respect your time, hit that like button so the algorithm stops staring back at me too. Alright, let's jump into the part that really sets the pace of the game, the combat and gameplay of Duet Night Abyss. For combat and gameplay, let me say this upfront. It's actually pretty fun, especially with all the AoE abilities. Clearing groups of enemies at once, very satisfying. Almost every character has some sort of AoE skill, so blowing away a bunch of enemies in one go feels great. The animations are flashy and the combat has that just one more fight please, at least early on. But here's where the fun hits a wall. Movement is stiff. Your character doesn't move as fluidly as you expect in an action game. You will often jump or dash just short of where you wanted to land, and you have to fight the movement instead of enemies sometimes. Each character has two main skills. Your E skill you can spam as long as you have sanity, and the Q which is technically the ultimate. But with no character swapping during combat, only two skills feels limiting. After a while the rotations start getting repetitive, and the ultimate, probably the most underwhelming part. The visuals and damage don't feel very different from the E skill, nothing sort of a wow. And the combat needs impact. Right now hitting enemies feels like smacking ragdolls made of air. There's almost no weight behind attacks. Plus 2 dodges, that's it! Please devs, for the love of fast paced action, give us more. Outside combat the gameplay is actually fun. The grapple points scattered across the map make traversal fast and enjoyable. Helix jump is smooth, but again, if movement had more weight and fluidity, it would feel even better. Now a feature I really like, you can have up to 2 characters fight by your side at all times, even while exploring. It makes the world feel alive. But imagine if we could swap and control them mid-fight. That would instantly level up the gameplay. Also, can we have some idle animations for when they're around us? It would feel so perfect. Weapons though, W across the board. Spears, swords, heavy blades, dual blades, scythes, and yes, rifles and machine guns. The weapon variety is exciting and keeps combat fresh. As for enemies, early game fights are easy and a bit spongy, but difficulty should scale up as you level up. So overall, combat is fun and stylish with great potential, but it needs refinement, movement, impact, and skill depth to really shine. Alright, story and world building. And honestly, this part surprised me in a good way. The story hooks you early and the world feels deeper than your average anime RPG with cool powers. You are dropped into a world divided between Solarians, the privileged tech-enhanced elite, and Shadowns, the oppressed class feared because some awaken dangerous abilities. There's history, tension, and a real sense of injustice pushing the plot, and it works. There's also the threat of Filthoids and a war around 19 years ago that changed everything. No spoilers, but the lore is surprisingly layered. The more you explore, the more the world starts making sense instead of dumping random fantasy terms at you. The pacing, strong so far. But quick complaint, the male MC's English voice sometimes feels like he's reading bedtime stories during life or death scenes.
Quite a mysterious figure. You don't know him either.
I have no clue.
Everyone's emotional and he sounds like he just woke up from a nap.
Psyche, can you hear me? Talk to me, Psyche. You said it yourself. There's so much you want to do. Okay.
It breaks immersion and I don't know how can they fix it. World design is like a semi-open world, not huge but detailed. And the Sanctuary Hub, love it. Everything you need, shops, forging, systems in one place. Compact, thematic and efficient. More games should copy this. So overall the story has depth, the world is engaging and the themes hit harder than expected. It just needs more life outside cutscenes. NPCs currently stand around like mannequins on a lunch break. But if you enjoy story-driven RPGs, this one's worth playing for the narrative alone. Exploration. The part where you either become a brave adventurer or a chest-sniffing gremlin who loots everything in sight. No shame, I'm absolutely the second one. The map starts off looking empty, like the devs forgot to fill it in. But as you progress, it opens up fast and suddenly there's way more to do than it first shows. It's a semi-open world design, not a giant continent, but not a hallway simulator either. Defined zones, each with identity and content. Fast travel animation is really sick. You descend like a UFO beam summoning experiment and I really like it. Traversal mechanics are a W2, grapple, jump, glide. Fun and stylish, though a bit more weight and momentum would make it a chef's kiss. Exploration is reward heavy. Chests, world quests, side objectives, mini challenges, the game constantly pays you for being curious. And here's a neat twist. There's an impression system that tracks your morality. Things like chaos, benefit, empathy, or rationality based on your dialogue choices. Pick different responses and new world quests open up depending on how the world sees you. It adds personality to exploration instead of it being a basic checklist. Side missions are actually solid. Puzzles aren't brain melting, but they are not move a rock 5 times to feel smart either. Stealth escorts, takedowns, rescue missions, there's variety and I respect that. Let's be honest, Duet Night Abyss didn't spawn in a vacuum. It feels like Warframe, Star Rail, Genshin, in the best way possible. Not a complaint, just we all noticed. Overall, exploration is fun, rewarding and stylish. It just needs a bit more life to reach that 3-hour exploration binge level. Let's talk characters, or as I like to call them, the reason we justify our questionable gaming life choices. Design-wise, the cast feels like someone blended Genshin, WoW and Star Rail and somehow the smoothie came out great. Personality-wise, they do have charm. Veronica, caring but mysterious. Sybil, the Empire's angry sledgehammer. Camilla, elegant, I know more than you energy. Psyche, cinnamon roll core. And outsider, opportunistic but smart. The only problem, the expressions are stiff, emotional scenes hit softer than they should. Progression is a lot. The game hands you a 6-layer upgrade lasagna and says, figure it out. You are juggling leveling, demon wages, secret letters, weapon upgrades, and blueprint and forging. Not slow, just complex enough to open 3 guides and a YouTube video before upgrading anything. And yes, it's grindy. The game respects your time so much, it wants all of it. To be fair, there are ways to make the grind painless if you want. I can drop a separate guide on how to farm without frying your sanity bar in real life. So overall, characters look great, have personality, and the progression is deep and rewarding once it clicks. But it could definitely be simplified and less grind heavy for long-term players. Now let's talk visuals, art and sound, aka the first impression decides everything department. If you have played Genshin, Star Rail or any anime open world gacha recently, yup, you already know this art style. Pretty? Absolutely. Original? Maybe not so much. Cutscenes are actually impressive. When the game goes cinematic, even NPCs suddenly unlock facial expressions and emotions. The soundtrack is really good, emotional, immersive, goosebumps at the right moments. But it doesn't outshine the big 3, Genshin, Wuwa starred in the music department. Voice acting pulls a gacha, sometimes you get SSR, sometimes, well, potato mic energy.
Right, my time has already come to an end.
The MC especially needs stronger delivery for emotional scenes because some lines hit hard, but the voice doesn't.
Stand up! Don't yield to this cold, unfeeling world!
Oh my god! Wow!
One odd thing during the story, sometimes dialogue scenes have no BGM at all. Without background music, emotional moments feel kinda dry.
And the lodgers at the Hypnos house are likely all deteriorators. I see what you're getting at.
A tiny bit of ambience would have saved it. Overall, the presentation is strong, looks great, sounds great, just not very unique, with a few why though choices in audio direction. Now time to talk about the emotional damage machine of every gacha game, the banners. If your wallet just hid under the bed after hearing that, trust me, same. Let's start with the golden tier, basically the 5-star equivalent. The base rate is 0.3%. Yes, 0.3. Not 3, not even 0.6 like Hoyo, 0.3. The kind of number that makes you rethink your life at 3 am. Good news, there is pity. Golden tier, 90 pulls. Purple tier, 10 pulls. So at least the game won't gaslight you into thinking you are just unlucky. But here's the plot twist. Pity doesn't carry over. Pull 78 times on banner A, a hotter banner drops and boom, back to 0. It's like the game looked at your savings and said, "Oh, you tried to be responsible. How cute." But wait, before anyone flips their desk, important detail. This gacha is only for costumes and skins, not characters, not meta power. Just fashion. Honestly, if they wanna make the trip pricey, I kinda get it. Beauty tax exists, especially in anime games. So early verdict, for the pros 10 pull purple and 90 pull 5-star is standard. For the cons 0.3% is pain and pity reset hurts F2P collectors. It's a bit harsher than the Hoyoverse formula but not predatory. So overall the gacha stings, yes, but since it's cosmetic, it's annoying, not evil. Collectors will suffer, but at least you won't be power crept into swiping just to stay relevant. Let's talk quality of life and UI. The part of the game that decides whether you stay immersed or end up googling what does trigger probability mean in this game. First off, the UI is surprisingly well organized. Considering how many systems the game throws at you, the menus are clean enough that you won't need a PhD to find the settings tab. Navigation is smooth too. Trial ranks unlock features gradually without treating you like a toddler. Respect. But demon wages, yeah. Those stats feel like someone mixed Warframe terms with gacha RNG math and went, they'll figure it out. Trigger probability, slash damage on a gun. My brain needs a coffee. Currencies could explain themselves better. You do understand them eventually, but only after clicking through everything like you are speedrunning a research thesis. I'll probably make a guide, it needs it. Keyboard and mouse controls, fully customizable and feels great. Graphics options too. But enabling FSR occasionally summons random shadow squares on the ground, like a cursed Minecraft texture pack slipped in. Wrong genre, my guy. Tutorials are solid. Visual, clear and actually helpful. Loading times are decent, though teleporting within the same city could be a bit faster. Not a crisis, just maybe faster please. Responsiveness is great, zero noticeable lag, except that movement issue we talked about earlier that still taps you on the shoulders sometimes. Overall, good quality of life, clean UI, a few what does that mean tooltips and some minor graphical ghosts under your feet. Nothing game breaking, just occasionally eyebrow raising. Alright, let's talk performance and how the game actually runs when you are in the thick of it. Overall performance has been pretty stable, no game breaking issues, no random crashes so far, which is a relief for a new live service launch. You will notice some small stutters while teleporting or right after cutscenes. Not a crisis, but definitely something that needs smoothing out. Visually it looks good, but some character models feel a bit washed out on PC. Almost like the textures were tuned with mobile in mind first. A texture and shading pass would help the cast pop more. The good news? The dev team has been fast and responsive. Multiple patches dropped within days, addressing bugs and feedback at a solid pace. They are active on feedback channels, Twitter, Reddit and in-game reports, and they are actually replying and adjusting. It gives confidence that the issues I mentioned won't be ignored. Is it polished yet? Not fully. But if they maintain this update pace, give it 2 to 4 months and the experience should tighten up noticeably. So final question, should you play Duet Night Abyss? Short answer, yes, but set the right expectations. If you love anime action RPGs, this is absolutely worth jumping into. Combat is flashy, the world is fun to explore, and the story and cinematics hit well. Even if you are more of a casual player, there's enough story, events and exploration to enjoy without no-lifing the game. For gacha collectors, quick warning, the skin banner and pity system isn't very F2P friendly. If you chase cosmetics, prepare for a grind or some wallet temptation. So for the pros, great world building, rewarding exploration, strong soundtrack and cutscenes, and devs are patching fast. And for the cons, movement and combat needs polish, progression can feel complex, and gacha for skins is rough. Play it if you enjoy the genre, and don't mind some early rough edges. If you hate grindy characters or want a fully polished experience, maybe wait a couple of updates. But there's real potential here and I'm excited to see where it goes. So if this helped, hit that like and subscribe. I'll drop guides, builds and deeper breakdowns soon. And if you want a full combat comparison or character guide next, tell me in the comments.